Well, I guess it wouldn't be a Bulls game this season without it being a close game where they just came up a bit short. However, this one stung a little bit more than the others because it really did seem like the Bulls had this one. And unlike the last game against the Suns where they fell apart in the fourth quarter, the Bulls actually came alive and ended up taking the lead and held it there for a while until about 2 minutes left to go in the game when Nikola Jokic just took over and scored 17 points in total alone in the fourth quarter. So what's going on, everyone? You are listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. Guys, not only was it a disappointing night in that the Bulls could not secure this victory against a formidable team, but we also did not have a winner yet again for the $100 giveaway in predicting the score of the game. We actually did have one individual who predicted the final to be 118-112, which was the final score of the game, but they predicted the Bulls to be the winners. So we'll have to have the giveaway again though, guys, don't worry. This has proven to be a much harder giveaway where we actually find a winner. So what I'll likely need to do is ensure we at least have one person winning the next giveaway. I'll figure out something for that so that way we can have a guaranteed winner. But back to this game. I mean, on one hand, I want to be disappointed and be a frustrated Bulls fan that we've just frankly gotten used to being over the years. But at the same time, and I've been saying this since the beginning of the season, I'm actually okay with the Bulls losing to good teams as long as they are competitive for the whole 48 minutes and giving it 100% throughout. Now, I don't know if I can necessarily say that for how the game started in this one. The Nuggets came out on fire and took a big lead early, and the Bulls just looked lost and didn't seem to care to put forth effort on defense. But that short time period aside, the Bulls competed throughout this one. Now you can say, well, they let Jokic absolutely dismantle them, which sure, let's be real, there aren't a lot of teams that can stop Jokic at this point. That's why he's averaging 27 points per game and 11 rebounds. The guy's an absolute beast. He's the weirdest looking basketball player I've ever seen that is a superstar. And sorry, I don't mean weird as in a weird looking person, but rather his stature, the way he moves, his form on the court. I mean, he looks like the complete opposite of what one would think of a star basketball player if you just simply looked at him warming up on the floor before a game. But somehow he has the incredible ability to get easy buckets in the paint with great footwork for a man his size. He's slow for a professional basketball player, but that doesn't seem to matter at all. Guys cannot defend him, and he has incredible court vision. Like I said, he's 7th in the league in assists per game as a center. Anyway, Jokic absolutely went off tonight, scoring 39 points, shooting 17 for 28 with 14 rebounds and 9 assists. Now, I saw a lot of people in the live game chats, both on the channel and on the Discord, and just comments also on some of the videos about how Wendell lost this game for the Bulls, how he's too soft, too undersized to play the center. And I agree with the last part. I've been saying that for a while now, that he's not fit to be a center in this league. But he's been forced to play it because the Bulls don't really have many other options, especially when it comes to his defensive ability at the 5. And yes, Wendell didn't have himself the best game. In fact, he had a pretty poor game. But you can't put this all on Wendell. Like I said, hardly anybody in this league can stop Nikola Jokic. There are maybe a couple of centers who can actually defend him decently. I'm thinking of guys like Joel Embiid, maybe Rudy Gobert, but that's really it. I said it in my weekly preview video, the Bulls aren't going to have an answer for Jokic, and it wasn't a knock on Wendell, but it's because no one in this league has an answer for Nikola Jokic. And you also can't blame Wendell for when he's getting posted up by Jokic and, you know, the other guys are just standing around watching. Where's the weak side help, or just any help for that matter? I'm not saying that all the time. I mean, there were times where you had 3 guys trying to stop Jokic, including Wendell, and he still found a way to bully himself to the basket. But there were a handful of times where Wendell wasn't getting any help whatsoever. And I'll also add, there were a few times where Wendell did actually defend Nikola Jokic well, despite the huge size mismatch. So I don't agree at all that we lost this game because of Wendell. When you're playing a guy like Jokic, you know he's going to be a problem no matter what you do, and that's not isolated to Wendell. Honestly, the reason the Bulls lost this game was because they couldn't close it out in the last 2 minutes, and we've seen that before from the Bulls this season. Granted, they've gotten better at closing out games, but they've still struggled in doing that against good teams. The Bulls only turned the ball over 10 times the whole game, which is incredible to see, and that's part of the reason why they were in this game. But despite only having 10 turnovers, they had 2 critical ones at the end of the game that really cost them, one of which was that travel on Lavine with less than a minute to go, down 2 on a bucket that they really needed. And I don't know why the Bulls sort of panicked at the end there, rushing their shots, not making smart plays, forcing up contested threes when there was still plenty of time left in the game. The Bulls did not shoot well from 3 tonight, shooting 12 for 38 from deep. I've said it before, but I would love for the Bulls to change it up a bit and start focusing on scoring more inside when those shots aren't falling, especially guys like Valentine. I mean, don't get me wrong, he had some nice plays and hit a couple big shots here and there, but come on, he needs to have a little better self-awareness than continuing to chuck up threes like it's for fun in a close game. And dare I say it, but we saw a little more hero ball from Lavine, taking some bad threes where they really should have set up better plays. Now, I think some of that is on Donovan. I'm not just going to put the blame on Lavine for that. One of them was a play called out of a timeout that was clearly drawn up for Lavine that wasn't effective at all. What I will say that I liked seeing from Lavine in this game, and we've continued to start seeing that, is that when his shots aren't falling, he has been doing other things on the court to help his team win. So despite having an off shooting night for him, shooting 1 for 8 from 3, he was able to get 9 rebounds, 5 assists, a block, and a steal, and still managed to get 23 points despite having an off night. He did have 4 turnovers, 4 of the 10 turnovers the Bulls had in total, and he was minus 20 tonight in terms of box plus minus. Coby White is starting to play a little more consistently. I feel like it's been a little bit since we've seen him have a completely off game. He's still struggling to shoot the ball from deep, but overall 20 points, 10 rebounds. Somehow he had more rebounds combined between Patrick Williams and Wendell, but that's a separate issue. Either way, it's good to see Coby get another double-double on the night. He's been showing to be a more and more effective rebounder, and for a point guard, that's very valuable to have. Patrick Williams had a better showing tonight, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 5 for 11 shooting. Like I said, in terms of Coby rebounding, I would love to see him be a bit more aggressive in boxing out and getting those rebounds, playing defensively more down low and clogging up the paint, rather than seeing Coby White get more of those rebounds. As I mentioned, also Wendell, another poor game, not the reason the Bulls lost, but another poor game. Granted, I feel centers who are tasked with going against Jokic on a given night are probably not going to have the best game. But yeah, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 0 blocks again. And also again, Wendell isn't even putting up that many shot attempts. He was 2 for 4 tonight. And then, of course, our 6-man, Thaddeus Young. Guy can do no wrong. He even bailed out the guys who were missing threes with less than a minute to go, getting offensive rebounds and putting it back up. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 steals tonight. With how good Thaddeus has been playing, it does make me a little nervous that he's going to get some strong trade offers that the front office might feel is just a little too good to pass up. And because of how valuable he's been to this Bulls roster, even though I know he's not part of the Bulls' long-term plans, my hope is that they'll hang on to him unless they just get an absolutely overwhelming offer that Arturas would just be stupid to turn down. Speaking of Arturas, he did have a pre-game presser with the media shortly before the game, and I'll likely make a separate video about that because there were some interesting comments and quotes from him that I did want to talk about a bit further and what it means for the near and long-term future of the Bulls. But anyway, this was a tough loss for the Bulls because yet again, another game where they were right there but could not close it out against a good team too, which a lot, has to do with the maturity of the team and being that there are a lot of young guys on this roster. But as I mentioned, what I liked seeing from this game was the effort that was there and the guys competed throughout, keeping it close for this game and not hanging their heads low when the Nuggets went on a tear to start the game, which is probably something we would have seen last year. I'll be back out with another video tomorrow. The Bulls will play their final game before the All-Star break on Wednesday against the Pelicans. Hopefully the Bulls can finish that off with the win. As always, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan as I post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.